Yeah. Some backpack raps. Turn it up. Hey yo, life's a bitch and then you die, yeah we knew that, but screw that. I'll toast to the future, not where the crew at. It's FTB until I'm 6 feet deep. Yeah, we done started a movement, a leader, never been a sheep. So I don't follow the crowd, I'm trying to make my own lane. Lost a lot in this life, but I still got more to gain. Never take for granted the fans who've been waiting for the day I blow like Nagasaki on everyone, ignoring the name. Verses pour from my mind like that Kentucky bourbon. But I was born in the shy, my mentality's urban. Never was sure about my purpose, but I know one thing's for certain. I came here to fuck up the game till I'm wanted for murder. Gotta be honest though, I know I got talent and I'm driven to make my vision come to fruition. No indecision, achieved a lot in life that some said I wouldn't. So what's the difference when it comes to this rap shit they saying I couldn't? Bound to fail, I ask them why. Cause I'm white in my 30s, I got a family and work a normal fucking job. You must be kidding, man, that fuels the fire. And I'm prepared as I get bigger for haters to put me through the wire. But I won't let it bring me down, I got that tunnel vision. Like a horse in a derby, I'm just focused on winning. Passing up my peers, no wonder why I'm always grinning. But when it comes to my enemies, my trigger finger itching. Don't like the negativity, I'm only moving up. So if you ain't with me on the grind, then how can you say I don't do enough? Soon enough, they all go see I proved enough and rock with it. All from the bottom, there ain't no stopping it. Music's my passion and I made a promise to always crush whatever the fuck was in front of me. So let's be honest, do I? Hell yeah, they know the flow dumb. And one thing's for certain, if you don't chase your dream, it won't come. But you can't ever chase your dream if you don't run. So I'm gunning for the tip top, homie, and then some. Make it a habit of smashing raps in my backpack like snack packs. I got my cat backwards, listening to Mac Miller. Got some Nikes on my feet, running them laps around my peers, but they too proud and cocky to admit defeat. But I ain't taking prisoners, they on my plate. It's time to eat, it's time to show them what I'm about. Cause then they'll want a fucking feature, what a piece. That's cool though, I really can't blame them. They'd rather do a track with your boy, cause they won't be getting nowhere if they hate them. But in the end, I love this hip hop shit. So I'm gone, got a plane to catch. Kick rocks, bitch.
Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Mr. Samuel Deeds, how are you doing, friend?
I'm tired, man. It's been a long October. I'm not going to complain. A lot of it is self-inflicted. I took the trip to Hawaii with the wife and got back and right in the Mogadishu Mile, man. We had a great turnout this year. 46 teams. We had 3 of the pilots that were in the battle showed up. A couple of the widows showed up. Man, just a great turnout overall. We couldn't ask for better weather. The team jumped in to kick off the dinner Friday night and then rolled right back into jumping with, the season with the team out to Topeka for an air show and then into, Virginia Tech, Mississippi State. And then I roll out this weekend for Navy Notre Dame at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Looking forward to it. How's everything with you?
Dude, you've been super busy. Everything's with me is good. I mean, we had a great episode last night with Romans Warrior Foundation last night, and also he's co-owner of Label 22 Records. both nonprofits, both helping veterans. And then tomorrow, a little nervous, anxiety's kicking in. Tomorrow I'm having my total knee replacement, so worried about that. Getting that done at the Zorn Avenue VA at the hospital there, so I'm kind of worried about that. I'll have to stay overnight at least for one night. As long as there's no complications, I
Yeah.
should be home Wednesday, which is good. And then no, a little bit of rest and some PT here at the house, and then right back to the grind of doing the podcast thing, man. I'm gonna try to hobble my happy butt down these 25 steps going down to the bunker here. If not, I'll be doing it from upstairs. Of course, my wife is like, "Well, you're not." Going to turn my whole house into a podcast studio. I was like, well, I got to do what I got to do because I can't cancel the guests that we got
You gotta
scheduled.
have at least a corner. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, look, just put baby in the corner and we'll be good.
Yeah, I will tell you though, with any surgery, just don't push it too hard. Push it to your limit. Don't push it any further. When I had my nail placement after Iraq, I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I think a little bit of narcissism got involved with me not wanting my guys to see me on crutches and stuff like that. And I threw the crutches and I started walking, and it didn't heal properly, and I had a break, and they had to replace the nail. And then that
Mm,
time I took it easy, and I still have some issues with it, but yeah, just follow the doctor's orders. Don't push it too hard. Push it to where your limits are, and do everything that PT is telling you.
yeah, I plan to, but my wife, because Friday night we got the football game out here at Bullitt County. It's Bullitt County versus Mayo, which is one of our biggest rivals.
Yeah.
Not cross county rival, but one of our bigger rivals. We actually beat them 2 years ago for the state championship. So, and it's coming up this Friday night. And she's like, "You're not going to go?" I was like, "Bro, I don't know if I can walk up the bleachers to get because our bleachers are super high, and at the
Yeah.
top it's got a platform, and that's where I stand. I don't sit in the bleachers; I stand at the top." And we got a whole group of people that I was like, "I don't know if I can climb that all the way to the top." She goes, "Well, you can sit at the bottom." I was like, "And worry about people walking by kicking my knee in? No, I ain't doing that."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably miss this game and probably gonna regret missing it, but I'm gonna miss it. But and then next week on Friday, we play Meade County. Well, Homefront Sitrep is going to provide the pre-game dinner to the whole team, so we're
Yeah.
going to be feeding 90 people. So we got a couple briskets, we got some pork butts. We're going to be smoking all of that and creating fixings for them before the game. Yes, Dr. Klein, James, that is who who's doing mine at the VA. And then Kim Carter, I don't know if you saw this, but Miss Phyllis Abbott, she runs Lady Veterans Connect here in Winchester, Kentucky. She put her phone number down. She'd like to connect with you if that's something that you're interested in, Miss Kim Carter. I know you're backstage. Uh,
I saw James just pop up there. I do have one of this year's Mogadishu Mile coins
Here, I'm gonna put you
for you next time I see you.
here. Show it on full screen there. That's for you, James Thornton.
Yeah. So next time I see you, I've got one for you.
But yeah, so today we got a great guest, man. Miss Kimberly Carter, Air Force veteran. She's now working with pepelwerk. We're gonna bring her up on a stage and let her talk about herself and
Yeah, we
what
need to
she's
stop talking
doing.
about us and let her tell her
I
story.
know, right? Let's do it. Let's bring Miss Kimberly Carter up to the stage. Welcome, Miss Kimberly Carter.
Hey guys, how are you? It's kind of nice hanging back and listening to you guys chit chat and your story. I mean, I'm thinking that, Willis, you and I chatted a little bit about the knee, and I have the old dreaded knee as a disabled vet, so I get that. I've gone under the knife twice, so no replacement. Thank God. But I understand. Pay attention, do the PT. And I'm glad to hear you're not going to the football game. Glad to hear that.
my wife is trying to peer pressure me into going. She's like, "Don't be a pussy, just go." I'm
Well,
like,
she can go, and
Right.
she can
Right.
Facebook Live it for you.
that's what I told her.
Oh,
I said, "Go and Facebook Live it for me." She goes, "No, I ain't doing that." I might call one of my buddies that stands up there where I stand at and say, "Hey, can you either FaceTime me during the game or something so I can watch it?" Because I'm not going to go because I'm not going to screw myself up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to take it easy at least for the first week. Of course, I'm a Marine. I'm stubborn. I'm going to eat my crowns and be like, I could do whatever I want to do. So, but anyway,
you just heard Samuel talk about when you don't follow the rules, what happens, right? When he followed the rules and thought he could go and do whatever he wants.
I've only had 44 of these things, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
So James just had his knee replaced. He's a month out from his surgery.
He says 5 days out. I felt like poo. Yeah. I mean, probably even like 10 days out. You felt like it.
Yeah, I've seen his pictures that he was posting. He was on the couch, and his dog was like, "Come on, Dad, let's go play," but he couldn't go play because he didn't feel good. So,
yeah.
But anyway, welcome, Miss Kimberly Carter.
Hey.
If you can do me a favor, give us a little bit of your backstory, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I'll just say this, and you and I have chatted in the beginning. One of the best things I ever did was go in the military. There's no doubt about that. I am about, if someone doesn't know what they want to do, and they need to grow up and get out of their hometown and get off their mom and dad's couch and get some kind of skills and get some discipline and help maybe point you in a different direction. I absolutely think everybody can do at least 2 years. A little bit of civic duty, do 2 years. Now, when I was young, I never would have thought that, right? So, but now I look back on it, it's the best thing that happened to me, and it's opened so many doors for me. So yes, I am an Air Force veteran. I'm actually a disabled veteran. I shared a little bit about you. I did play sports for the Air Force, and I played basketball, hurt my knee, got out, never had any surgeries, and didn't probably do the rehab as I should have been doing because I had flashbacks of what Samuel was saying. And I've paid that price, and I've had 2 knee surgeries and all that. But I did get out. I did 4 years. I was very blessed to do some time in Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I will tell you that some of the most beautiful country, absolutely wonderful people, beautiful country. So I was in Marquette, Gwinn, SAC Air Force Base. I was there for about 2.5 years, and then I got transferred to California. And I got an opportunity to go to Beale Air Force Base with, at that time, that had the SR-71 and the U-2. So I got a chance to see that. And most people go, what'd you do? I was a dental hygienist. So I cleaned teeth. That's what I did. I had nothing to do with planes. But what I wanted to do was be a boom operator. If anybody knows anything about refueling, that, excuse my French, that's a badass job to have. And they told me that I would be delayed in list for 6 months just because the slots for it, you had to wait. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. If I do that, I'm going to end up going flipping burgers at Burger King or something. So let me go ahead and find something that I can go do. And based on all my testing, there was a lot of things I had an opportunity to do, but I chose that because I knew then I would be inside no matter what base I got at. Right. And it's something that I could do when I get out. So but I did go in the Air Force. I went to Purdue University for a couple of years. I was a starting point guard. I got a chance to play basketball at Purdue, and I got a chance to play softball. And so I was one of those kids that you played sports in high school. Everybody expected you to go to college, and my family did, and I did. But I needed to grow up, right? I forgot that you got to go to class, right? You may want to show up and to get your grades. You may want to do that. And so one summer, I looked at my grades and my coach goes, you don't even hardly go to class. What are you doing? I said, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. So I went home, told my parents, hey, I'm thinking about going to the military. My dad almost had a heart attack. My mom was cheering. And she goes, that is very good for you to go do. And so I went and did those 4 years. I will say basic training. That first night I was there was a lot of people crying in basic training. I wasn't crying, but I was like, what have I done? Right. I had it made. I'm going to college, I'm partying, I'm having a good time. And now what am I doing? But it was the first time that I had to own my own decisions. And I had to own that. I had to decide who I was going to be. And so I took the full advantage of doing it. I met some people that I would have never met. I'm from Lafayette, Indiana. If you know anything, that's Purdue's on the west side, and Lafayette's there. Great little city, 35,000 people, but everybody kind of knows each other. And it was time for me to grow up. And so I was in base training, met some great people, did my tech school at Shepherd Air Force Base. That's where the dental area was, training. And then my first assignment, like I said, was in the UP. I was excited because, remember, I'm from Indiana, so I'm thinking, "Hey, I'm going to Michigan. That looks like Canada. What is that?" Like,
yeah.
And I'm thinking it's a small drive home. No big deal until I started. I did my tech school, and in July it's 85 degrees in Lafayette, and I had a little sunroof, and I start driving up through Chicago and Wisconsin. It's getting colder and colder, and I get up there at 65 degrees in July, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna freeze to death up. But it was beautiful country, and I learned how to fish, and I learned how to do a little bit of hunting, some things I would have never done. And I met some incredible people. Some people are my friends still to this day in the Air Force, and we stayed in touch. And then I went to California. What I did recommend that it happened to me was I knew I needed to go back and get my college degree. I knew I needed to finish and do that. So I got out of the Air Force out in California. I went to Sac State for a year, and then I transferred back to Purdue to finish my degree. And I ended up on the dean's list. So it's one of those things where timing, the right time and the right focus and the right discipline. And I got that from the military, and I could forever give back to the military for that.
Yeah. I'm kind of like,
sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm kind of like you, because when I got out of high school, I played football my whole career, like from little league all the way up to my senior year in high school. And my senior year, after football was done, I slacked off. I was like, I don't need to worry about grades anymore. Now I had already, joined the delayed entry program in the Marine Corps between my sophomore and junior year. So my whole junior year is delayed entry program, and then all the way into the senior year. And then my recruiter's like, "Bro, keep your grades up. At least BCs." And I mean, I was down, I had D's, and he's like, "You need to bring your grades up." And I was like, okay, so doing that. And then I started going through summer school, because I was one half of an elective credit of graduating. Just needed a half of an elective credit. And so I started going through summer school. Gunny Groach, my recruiter, called me up. He goes, "Hey, we got an earlier slot to get you into boot camp. Is that something you're interested in?" I was like, "Well, Gunny, I need to finish, to get my diploma." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll put you on a high school SIT program. When you get to your first unit will just tell them that you're on a high school SIT program. They'll get you your diploma." I was like, "All right, cool. That sounds awesome." So go to boot camp. Served with Sam there in boot camp, because we were boot camp buddies together. Went to School of Infantry together. We both went to 2-8. Well, when I first get to 2-8, I talked to my platoon sergeant and said, "Hey, I'm on a high school SIT program. I don't have my high school diploma." He goes, "Well, I've never heard of a high school SIT program. What the fuck is that?" So I'm like, all right. So I did my first 4 years. Without having a high school diploma.
Wow, I didn't even know you could do.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
That recruiter did some shady stuff.
I mean, yeah, because they're like, "I don't even know what a high school
He needed his number.
I was a recruiter, and I never heard of that program. What are you talking about?
So I need to figure out. But yeah, so I did the high school SIT. I did my first 4 years. Got out August of 2001, right before 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, and I told my mom, because I'm infantry, I said, "Be waiting for that Western Union, because I'm going to get recalled." Sure enough, the Western Union came, says, please report back to Camp Lejeune for combat refresher training. Went to back to Camp Lejeune. They put us with a mobilization support battalion, and we did our stuff from there. But and then after I got out, I went to college and I got a degree in criminal justice. But ask me if I utilized my degree. No, I work in telecommunications. So, but no, I love it. And so now you've gone through military, then you got out, and now you're working with a company. Tell us a little bit about the company that you're working for.
Yeah, the company's called pepelwerk, and it's spelled Pepelwerk, and it is really a AI technology talent management company. And so if you think of it as if you're a recruiter, you're in HR and you're a recruiter, it does a little bit of recruiting, right? It's using all technology to do it. It's skills based. We all know that everybody's got to put a resume together, and a resume can be inflated. You may have been on the team that saved $8 billion, but you really didn't do it, right? And now we have, hey, how do I wordsmith something to spin it up? But what our platform does, it takes the gamification of that out. You list the skills that you can do. And that's what's so great about the military. And we do military work for military folks who are transitioning into the civilian, them and their families. We work with the DOD, and they've been able to use our platform with the military covering that cost and put in their skills, and they actually match on our platform with companies that we have. So it's really just a self-contained platform that puts your skills in, matches you with companies based on your skills, and that company puts the skill set up that they look. It also upskills, and it allows people to take courses. Again, the military covers that. So if you got out and you're like, I want to go and be in IT, but I'm short some classes and some things I need to learn before I get to a school, then you can come in, and actually we have the courses listed. You can take the courses online. You can be anywhere in the world and do this. So that's what part of my giving back 2024 was, really me giving back and reaching back and connecting people. And because I was in transition out of coffee, a friend of mine was investing in this company, and they've been in business 6 years, so they're not really a startup. They're now crawling and running, starting to run, and I'm being blessed to lead their sales organization and connect that. But like I said, it's AI technology. You answer some questions. It tells what your skills are. You list your skills, and then you sign up on our app, and then all it is you put your skills in, you have companies looking for it. If your skills match, you get notification on the platform. There's none of this, hey, I got to go interview, I got to do all this. It'll tell you, hey, X company is looking for your skills. Are you interested in that company? So kind of like a dating app, you swipe, yes, I am. And that company gets notified, and they go, oh, cool. Look at Kim Carter. She matches 80% of it. We're interested in talking to her. They swipe left. Hey, here's some interview times, right? And you go, hey, I'll take that interview time. You swipe left again. Now your interview's set up, and they do a Zoom interview, and you do that. Nice. It's simple as that. It reduces recruiting for companies. And so that's why companies love our platform. Now you don't have to have as many talent acquisition people going through millions of resumes and really trying to pick somebody out based on the historic stuff that they said. You should be looking for a skill set. And that's what's great about the military. Don't always have to have the degree, but what skills that you've learned that transfer over in the civilian world, and how do you upskill yourself and get more skills? If it's a degree or different courses or certification, you can do all of that on the platform. We have a lot of trade schools on the back end that say, hey, we are looking for students, and we're looking for military people. If they're focused on that, they'll come to us. They'll put the skills that they list. Again, if you've got your profile built, you get matched. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to send an email. Hey, you got any job? None of that. All of that you don't have to worry about. You always get notified on our platform. Awesome. So that's what's kind of cool about it. It's in its forefront. When you say AI, people go, oh, what's that mean? Right? They get nervous. But it's really allowing companies to be efficient with their time and making sure you're matching and matching the right people versus going through a bunch of resumes that really don't reflect who that person can be, right? And what they can be.
I think that's the hardest problem I had getting out, was taking the skill sets that I learned in the Marine Corps, whether it was infantry recruiting, as a V-22 mechanic, whatever, right? And translating those skill sets over to the civilian side.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's nothing that is out there. Well, there is now. There's contractor jobs that is infantry, right?
Right.
But those intangible traits that we learn through recruit training, through your time in service, as you progress in the rank, those things, frontline supervisor, or however you want to word it, they're there. The pride of belonging to something, the professional development, all that stuff that you can't learn in a classroom, that is you learn through self pain, or a lot of pain through DIs or instructors or whatever. But translating that to a resume. And, there are some things out there that you can just click on, 0311, and it'll pop up, certain skill sets that you could learn. Doesn't mean that you learned every single one of those.
And one of the things that is cool about our platform, it'll ask you the skill, and it'll ask you 3 things. Are you a beginner, you're intermediate, or you're expert, right? And so you fit in some of that gray area, because some of your experience may be, I'm fairly new, so I can say I'm a beginner. And some of the jobs that match they're really looking for beginners. They want you to come and do on-the-job training, right? So it's a little broader. It gives you an opportunity to say where you're at, and you guide it. The cool thing that happened to me as well is when I got out, I had to work, right? And I had to go back to school on my own dime. Now I'm on my own time, right? So maybe that's why the focus was where it was, right? But I got out of the military, and I will say that the unemployment office, I went in and signed up that I was a vet. And then there was a manufacturing company that was looking for vets, which is always fantastic. So it's always matching those vets in transition. And so I worked full time in manufacturing, and I had some of the skills that I was doing in the military align with what this company manufacturing want. I didn't have everything, but I had the leadership, right? I had the discipline. I had leading part of the Air Force and some of the special stuff that I was doing. All of those were skills that I had acquired without a degree. And they brought me into their program as an intern, and I got to work full time, and they paid 100% of my tuition and 50% of my books, and paid me.
Wow.
It doesn't get any better, right? I mean, so all of that was connection out with military skills, and then someone looking and reaching back and focusing on military people, understanding the impact they can make on an organization. So I was blessed in that way as well, to go through that program and finish my degree on their dime in their time.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that, what you guys are doing. Now, how do you push it out to the veteran community? Or transitioning military members, because sometimes it's hard to find the military members that are transitioning out. So how does pepelwerk? How do you guys push it out to that area?
Well, we've kind of struggled with it a little bit. Kim Kelly, which is our CEO and co-founder, she has a relationship with some folks in the DoD and in the military, right, and in the government. There is no, hey, here's a list of people transitioning. I mean, that would be brilliant of the military to go, what organizations are supporting us? Here are the people transitioning out. Here are their locations. And they should go, there's numerous companies supposedly helping. And it's, about anything else, it's connections, right? Relationships, connections. We're not that deep into it. So we just hear of people. We post on LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn, you'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find pepelwerk on LinkedIn. We do a lot of posting. I'm in a lot of military groups, which is fantastic. So it's really easy to find me. It's easy to find us. And if you're working with a large organization that is supporting the military, not only the veterans, but their families, right? We support the families in this process for free as well. So if you're interested in that, it's just reaching out to me. And it is, if and you're in large organizations that are working with veterans transferring out, I would love to meet who's ever leading that, right? So everybody knows it's all about connections and who you meet. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So we are that force that's fantastic, especially since the military is funding it on the back end. and it's free to the veterans. And my thing is let's get this done, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
This year is for me to give back. So somebody reaches out to me, I'll definitely connect them with whoever they need and with our organization.
I mean, you'd think it would be easy to contact somebody at Headquarters Marine Corps that deals with the transitioning group, right? Because every single base, to get out, you have to go through these separations classes, and they're hopefully they've gotten better since I retired. But when I got out, they're like, "Oh, it's not 1500 anymore; it's 3 p.m." I'm like, this is the stupidest class ever, because you go and punch in on the time clock and it says 1500, not 3 p.m. It's like, this is dumb. But you'd think that somebody, at Headquarters Marine Corps would grab a hold of this and push it out to all those transitioning officers. Say, hey, include this in your class. It's really going to help these guys and girls out as they transition.
Yeah. You're right. And it's an added benefit. So I'm sure there's a list of benefits of the military that's available to the military folks transitioning. This would be something that it should be attached to that. All you have to do is reach out to these folks and to get this started, right? And especially if you have a spouse or significant other, then this is perfect for them as well, because it is covered, right? And the other thing is we have other connections. It's not only us, it's all our other relationships to the other large corporations that we work with. And as I mentioned earlier, the trade schools. So if you want to do a trade school, we have those there, and they're looking for students that graduate, and they're looking for placing them.
Yeah. So there are a couple organizations out there that I want to try to get you in contact with. One being KY Valor. So now they travel the country to different military bases and recruit transitioning military members to come live in Kentucky, and they help them, find jobs, help them do resumes and stuff. Then there's InVets, which is Indiana Vets. They do the same thing. And then Mission, Wisconsin does the same thing. And I'm sure that every state has an organization kind of like those. I think that would be maybe something that you could get in with and see how they go to these bases, because they're actually going to bases and talking to service members that are transitioning out of the military. I know there's a program. What's the program where you got 60 to 90 days where you can intern at a business before you get out?
Absolutely. That happens too.
I think that's who they're connecting with. And trying to get them to come to Kentucky, Indiana, Wisconsin, wherever. I think that's something that maybe you as a veteran can get in contact with these different organizations and say, hey, this is what we do at Pepelwerk. Can we tag along at one of the events that you're going to see how things go, and see how they connect with, how they find the service members that are transitioning. I think that might help. So I'm going to get you in contact with the ladies from KY Valor and Jerry Young from InVets. Since you're from Indiana originally, I'll get you connected with him, and then that might open and help broaden your connection into that community, because that's, to me, that seems like you and them would work well together with what you both do. And then also Rich LaMonica, he hosts the Misfit Nation podcast. I'm gonna get you in contact with him as well. He just jumped in chat. He's one of my brothers from another mother. He's an Army veteran.
I guess I'll talk to him. If he's an Army vet, I'll talk
there
to
you
him.
go. Yeah, so he retired, and then now he's a civilian contractor training back in the Army. So he's training. He tells me all the time he's going around the country doing Army training. So I got to make,
but getting paid way better.
Yeah, paid way better. Yeah, but yeah, he's got a podcast called the Misfit Nation Show. So I'll get you in contact with him as well. But yeah, Adam Bird, he jumped in here. He's the founder of Heroes Media Group. Okay. I think maybe if we get you in contact with him as well, that's him right there, Adam Bird. I can get you in contact with him as well, because he's got a whole big platform that's amazing. So definitely get you in contact with him. And then the good thing is, HomeFront Sitrep is now on Reese Across America Radio, We're live on Thursday nights at 11 p.m. on their live platform on the internet. So your episode will be aired on there. So we're gonna get you out there to help promote what you're doing at People Work. I think you guys are doing some amazing work.
I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, the Wounded Warrior Regiment for the Marine Corps reaches out to me every year, at least once, and they ask, do you know of any resources for Marines or for the veterans that we're working with? And next time they call me, or I'll just shoot them a message, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what they do. And they'll have your stuff in case somebody else is needing or is in need of, some help and resume building or a job. And I'll just pass your email on to them so they can.
I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, our big thing is just we're a connection, we're a conduit, right? We opportunity for people to set their profiles, get their, put their skills in, potentially match internships as well. So we work with a lot of companies on internships. Right now, we just are working with JP Morgan Chase. If you have membership groups, the other cool thing is anybody is in a membership group that's fundraising. We build referral partners. So people that refer out other business to us, just like you guys are doing that, you sign up as a referral partner, you get net 10% or whatever somebody's of our services are using. So it's an opportunity for somebody's this could be a side gig for them, right? As a referral partner out. The other thing is the companies that want to do fundraising, just like Junior Achievement, any of those, they want to do fundraising. They sign up as a partner of ours. Doesn't cost them anything to do that. Any of the services that are purchased through the Junior Achievement and everything, they get net 10%. So it becomes a line item in a fundraising for people. So there's many ways to partner with us, not only use our services, but also have a side gig as a referral partner or growth partner as well. And that costs you nothing to do that. So
heck yeah. And speaking of another veteran podcaster, Mr. Brian Ruth with Every Day's a Saturday USMC veteran just joined. What's going on, Brian? I'm going to get you in contact with him. That way I can get you on his podcast too, to talk about what you guys do at People Work. I know he's getting ready to start I think it's season 3. So I'll get you in contact with him as well. And then I want to give a shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom. I'm going to give you a call here in a little bit, Mom. Because I'm having surgery.
You probably owed her call 2 days ago, didn't you?
No, I did talk to her recently because, like I said, I do have that knee surgery scheduled. So I've been in contact with her because she's wanting to come up and stuff. But I need to call her just to fill her in on some information. So, but Brian, yeah, I'm gonna get you in contact with Miss Kim Carter. Kim, do you want me to go through the proper channels or do you want me to email you directly?
You just email me directly. We're old friends now.
We're
friends. It's like we broke bread. We had a beer. We had a glass of wine. We had some bourbon. Whatever we had, we already had that. So we're good. We're good.
I love it. I love it. So is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on?
I think the big thing is, as I told you, one of my big things was when I got out of the military was always reaching back, reaching sideways, pushing people forward. And this year I've had a blessed career in telecom and coffee, and now I'm in AI and doing technology stuff. And so it is just connecting people. If not People Work, I may know somebody and know somebody that we can help. And it doesn't matter if they're veterans or not. I mean, obviously our focus today is that. But if you reach out to me and you're somebody in my network or something that you need, I absolutely reach out, because somebody did that for me, right? We were talking about that earlier before we got on. Somebody did open doors for me when I wasn't in the room, and somebody said she's ready, or she's not ready, but she has the capability to be ready. And so let's go, let's do it. Right. So that's where I'm at. Wherever I can help, whoever I need to talk to, I'm game for that. So I appreciate the time today.
No, I love it. I love it. And then here's another veteran podcaster, Albert Hero. He's with Triple Threats Vets podcast. I'm going to get you in contact with them as well to get you on their podcast so you can talk about what you do at People Work. What's up, Big Al? How's the weather down in Florida down there? You see that, Deeds?
I do. Yeah. You're welcome, man. Anytime.
He says Al says he's the good looking one.
He said that last time we were on too.
Yeah, he did.
He's
Yeah,
sticking with it. That's his story. He's sticking with it.
Look here, Sam.
Oh my God, that's Troy. Hey, that dude. I knew I shouldn't have sent him the link tonight.
I should have.
I should not have sent him the link.
I got you. But no, Kim.
Oh, it's your own.
Yeah, it's. But no, I love what you're doing, Miss Kimberly. I told you that when we were doing the meet and greet, and we clicked from day one or minute one as soon as we started talking, because you were kind of skeptical at first. You're like, what's this guy want? But no, we clicked pretty good. And I'm glad that I was able to bring you on and talk about what you for one, your military service, your trials and tribulation is growing up from a youngster to, graduating college on the dean's list. I mean, that right there says something about you and your resiliency to survive in the world. So, and I think, you said this was your year to give back. Which is amazing. And I love what you guys are doing at pepelwerk. So if you're out there, I put the link up for both pepelwerk, which is right here. It's up on the screen right now. So that's the website right there. And if you want to connect with Miss Kimberly Carter, right there is her LinkedIn information. You can get connected with her as well there. Al Hero, Brian Roof, Rich LaMonica, be expecting an email for connection to Miss Kimberly Carter to get yourself on or get her on your guys' podcast out there.
I'm going to give you a shout out because you connected with one of our PR person, and our PR person said, "Hey, I got this podcast, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, what are we doing? Are we talking about technology?" Or she goes, "No, we're going to talk about you a little bit. We're going to talk." I said, "Oh, okay." So that's where you I was like, "Okay, how's this going to go?" Right. So yeah. I will tell you from Jump Street, you just made it easy. It's a conversation, right? It's just a conversation and sharing a little bit about you and connecting that. And obviously your reach is great. You've done some fantastic things. You just look at the people that are on here that have their own gigs, but they're coming on yours. And so I love to see that everybody's connecting and trying to do the right thing and do what's in their heart. So I appreciate y'all doing this and having me on.
Well, thank you very much. And I've been blessed on my podcast journey. For me, it's all about, like you said, making those connections. And for me, to end that 22 a day is if we all work together. And that's where I've been blessed with, meeting Triple Threats Fed podcast, meeting Rich LaMonica from Misfit Nation or Brian Roof or all these other veteran podcasts that I'm in connection with. We all have we're very like-minded in what we want to accomplish. And so we've been very blessed, like Al Hero jumping on here. I'll jump on their podcast. And that's how we grow as a community. Because unfortunately there's a lot of veteran service organizations out there that don't want to work with other organizations. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the problem. If Mr. Deeds goes over here to Timbuktu Veteran Service Organization, they do equine therapy. Well, Deeds is scared of horses. So he's like, this is not working. Well, the founder or somebody that's on the board says, well, what are you interested in? And Deeds says, well, I like doing race car driving or, going fast, adrenaline. And they're like, oh, I know this great organization I can get you connected with. Let me get you connected with them right now. But organizations don't do that. Mm-hmm. They want to worry about themselves, their number of veterans, because a lot of them says, oh, well, you can't take my veteran. Well, guess what, buddy? They're not your veteran. So that's where we as podcasters, we want to focus on the organizations out there or the veterans out there that are willing to work with other veterans or other organizations to help in that 22 a day. So that's what we're doing. And then for me, getting to talk with somebody like you and hear your story, because we all do our military service differently. Mm-hmm. You have your own demons. Sam has his own demons. I have my own demons. Everybody in this chat that's a veteran has their own demons. And you don't even really have to be military to have your own demons, because my co-host Candace, she's not on here right now, or she was watching. I don't know if she's still out there. She has her demons, and it started at a very young age for her. And so we all do this life differently. But the only key factor is if we work together, then we can solve the issues that needs to be solved. So, no, man, I love what you guys are doing, and I can't wait to connect you with these other veteran podcasters. I can't wait to connect you with KY Valor and InVets, and just see where we can blossom this relationship. Because it started when I met you that first time on that meet and greet, and now we're here on the podcast, and I feel like I've known you my whole life, even though I just met you recently. So love it.
Love it. All right, I appreciate.
I'm just the fill-in. So he needed another face, I guess, tonight.
No, you're my brother from another mother. I've known you for a really long time, bro. We used to get smoked together on the quarter deck in boot camp.
Oh,
if Deeds messed up, guess who was getting called? Me. I messed up, guess who was getting called? Sam.
Sergeant Britton had our number. That's for sure.
Oh, didn't he? Didn't
yeah.
But Miss Kim Carter, I thank you for your time. I'm going to let you go. Is there any parting words before we let you go?
I'll say to everybody, be kind. Right. Like you said, we all walked a different path to get to where we are today. And there's a reason why we're all where we're at right now. And just connecting, there's a reason why I met you. There's a reason why I met Sam and anybody else that I connect with along the way. And so that's our give back, right? Otherwise, you got to leave a good footprint when your day's done. And so you always want somebody to say something kind about you. And so just know that if somebody reaches out to me, I'm doing whatever I need to do to help them. So I appreciate you guys' time. Great platform. I can't wait to now tell people about you. So there's that.
Thank you very much for that. So
he's going to have some downtime now. So,
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of downtime. So I just recently was able to go live on TikTok. So I'm trying to build TikTok so I can incorporate that as one of the places my podcast can go. Unfortunately, I have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok to get the stream key. Yeah. So I can go live right now, but I can't stream it from here to there until I have 1,000 followers. So I'm still trying to build that. And then my brother came up with this. I got it at the bottom of the screen right now. Hashtag be someone stranger. And it really resonated with me when he told me that, because if you look at me, my wife, we've been married since 2005. The last few years since I started this podcast, she's learning a lot more about my military service, because I would never talk to her about my military service. So when he said hashtag be someone stranger, I was like, what do you mean by that? He goes, man, he says, you know how you won't talk to your wife because you love her, you want to protect her? I was like, yeah. He goes, but you'll come talk to a complete stranger. So won't you hashtag be someone stranger? I was like, bro, I love it, because literally I will talk to a complete stranger and tell them what's going on with me before I would talk to my wife or kids. So hashtag be
safer. It's safer,
ma'am.
Right? You're not as vulnerable to them.
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
the big one, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You have a great brother.
I love it. I love it. But thank you again.
Blessings. Thank
yes,
you.
Ma'am. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Everyone be well.
All right.
You as
bye-bye.
well. Thank you.
Miss Monica Sanford just jumped on. She's amazing, Sam. Speaking of Monica, while she's here, if she's still watching, if you're out there and you are filing your disability, or you have questions about your disability, you can hashtag Ask Monica. You can email her at askmonica0@gmail.com. Let's play that commercial real quick. Yeah, so you can reach out to Miss Monica at askmonica0@gmail.com. Cool thing about Miss Monica, she is a nurse practitioner. She's got a doctorate of nursing. She actually just won the 2023 Nurse Practitioner of the Year for the state of Florida. She's amazing. She's married to a lieutenant colonel, retired USMC. They've been married 35 years plus. She will help you if you have a second opinion, or you want a second opinion, or if you're having troubles filing your VA disability. Miss Monica can help you. And plus, she runs her own podcast called the Monica Sanford Show. So definitely check her out and give her a follow as well.
I tell you, that's a bear just dealing with the VA and your rating and Matt. It's like I said, I mean, it took me forever to get where I am, and it should have,
Yeah.
you leave, leaving the service with 30 plus surgeries and, everything I went through to leave there was 70% and having to fight every single day for years to get to 100. It takes a lot out of you.
Oh, I guarantee it. And so my VA journey, I started last year, right? And I got 10% for tetanitis. I got 30% for PTS, and they denied everything else. And I haven't even seen a doctor about the rest of the stuff that's going on. Now, I've talked about when I did my initial intake about my knees, my backs, my ankles, everything else that was going on with me. And it was all in there on the claim, but yet they got denied. And I'm like, well, how can they deny me when I haven't even seen a doctor for these issues? And Shane's another good friend of mine here in Mount Washington. He said it's a joke, the VA. But yeah, so now I have to file my appeals, and hopefully I can see a doctor. And of course, my primary care, this is kind of what really upsets me. All right. The last time I was at the VA seeing my primary care, I went in for my normal 3-month checkup, whatever. I'm sitting at the sitting in the chair, and I had this rash on my face and my eyebrows, and I've been fighting it. Like, I've been putting medication and stuff on it, and I asked her about it, and she goes, "Oh, it does look a little red." I said, "Well, I need to see a dermatologist so I can figure out what this is, right?" And she goes, "Oh, well, we don't have time for that." I'm like, "What do you mean we don't have time for that?" She's like, well, I'm on a time crunch. I got other patients to see. And I'm like, that don't make no sense, because I need to be seen by a dermatologist for this, and I need this. And she goes, well, we can do one or the other. I'm like, so when I go back, I'm gonna say, hey, I want another service. I want another primary care doctor. And here's the reason being, the rash on my face was MRSA.
Oh man.
So, and the only reason I found that out is because I'm getting ready to have surgery.
Yeah.
So one of the tests they do is they test for MRSA. So they swabbed my nose, came back and said, "Oh, you got MRSA." I was like, "Huh?" And I said that. Well, I said, "Is that the rash that's on my face and my eyebrows?" And they're like, "More than likely, yes." Which, if anybody knows anything about MRSA, it can kill you. So, they gave me the medicine that I needed for it, and I had to go back and get tested again. Well, luckily, we caught it early enough that it's gone now. So I'm still using the medication just to be on the safe side, which they told me to keep using it until my surgery, which comes tomorrow. So, but yeah, no, man. I love it. And Miss Monica, if you're still watching, I need to get with you and your husband to have him on the podcast. I know he said he wanted to come on the podcast, but I haven't heard nothing back. But yeah, no. If you're a veteran and you're dealing with a crisis, 988*1. If you're a family member of a veteran, 988, and they will talk to you as well. You can text them. You can chat with them online. You can call them. If you don't like the person that you're talking with, you can disconnect and then call back in. You can re-chat back in, whatever. Just reach out to 988 if you're a veteran and you're in need. So let's play that real quick. Let me ask you something, Sam. On that whiteboard, everything that was written on there, how many times have you said those?
Oof. All the time. Still.
Yeah, I still to this day I say the same thing. Like literally, somebody asked me yesterday how I was doing, and my anxiety has went from here to here because tomorrow is the big day.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm hanging in there," because literally on the outside, I have to put on a happy go face because of my job, and then I keep a happy face, with my wife and kids because I don't want them to see me struggling or worried for me. Literally, my wife says, "Well," because my wife, she wears hers on the shoulder. Like if she's worrying, it's on her shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Me, I internalize it. And hell, I got a patch of hair on the back of my head that has fell out. It's called stress related alopecia. And a little patch come out of the back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I keep my hair so short because I got a little patch. I mean, it's about a quarter size. And she goes, "Well, I never see you worry." I said, "That's because I internalize." I said, "I worry about everything. I don't vocalize it, and I don't wear it on my shoulder, but I do worry." And then Miss Monica, I can't wait to have you and him on the show again to talk about what you are doing and catch up with you, and then what your husband David is doing as well. So, let's see what else. What's the other commercial I got to play? Oh,
Well, before we move on, so this right here, the Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky, it says, "What's the Sam Deed special and how can I get one?"
yeah.
So we were fishing a couple years ago for crappie, and we hooked into a big old channel cat, and it ended up being about 20 something pounds. And the only net that was on the boat was a crappie net, and just a little fryer bucket. And I tried scooping the cat up with that net, and I mean, I've got some good pictures somewhere. The pole's like this, and so he goes out and gets a new pole and net and everything. And I think it was just this past year, we're out fishing for crappie again, and we hook into a 26-pound channel cat. And I go to net him, and the friggin' net, the pole snaps again.
Oh shit!
So Troy went out and bought me a nice catfish net, and it says Sam Deed special on it. And I've not tried it out yet, but we're gonna give that a try.
We need to get you one with a solid rod iron thing,
Right.
so it don't snap on you. Welcome back, Mr. Brian Roof. I see you just joined back in. Let's see. So HomeFront Sitrep is now on Reese Across America Radio. You can check out Reese Across America Radio. Right here's the link scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's reacheacrossamerica.org/radio. HomeFront Sitrep is on there Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can also find it on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, and Audacity app. So let's play that. Hey, it's Willis. Join Candace and I from HomeFront Sitrep on Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on Reese Across America Radio. You can find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Audacity app, and TuneIn app. Search the word Reese. Yeah, definitely. Search the word Wreath when you're out there. You can, like I said, you can go to the link right here down below and you can listen to it live. We are on there Thursday nights at 11 p.m. So like this episode that we're on right now, we'll be playing on there hopefully 2 weeks from now, because I already got one booked for this Thursday. So definitely give them a check. Check out Reese Across America Radio. Sam, do you want to give a shout out to Blue Skies?
Yeah. Blue Skies, the guys, Warriors Foundation out there doing really, really amazing things for our combat wounded veterans, Gold Star families, and families of fallen first responders. Obviously, Team Fast Track's America Skydiving Team. We got our season is in full swing. I think we've got 9 left in the year, going all the way until the Military Bowl at the end of December. And of course, Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky, Jay Mattingly, and everybody that supports the Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky, and to honor the 19 guys that were killed during the Battle of Mogadishu.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I was so upset that I couldn't make it this year to do the live there. Definitely going to have to do that next year, for sure. I love that everything that you're doing. I know your wife, supports you and everything that you're doing. One of these days you'll slow down and be able to sleep in your bed more than 2 days a month.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, most of it was, we celebrated our 20th year being married in Hawaii this year. Out there were some really good friends and had a great time. And the good thing is you're on at 1:00 p.m. out there.
nice.
So yeah, so I mean, I'm at lunch, watching the podcast, and April's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm tuning into Willis."
Yeah, I seen you pop in, and I was like, April's gonna kick his butt, man. Because
Yeah, I didn't stay very long. I stayed long enough for us to eat, and I just laid my phone there and listened and watched a little bit. But no, and then like I said, came back at home and just rolled right into Mogadishu Mile, and then the following week it was an air show, a 5-jump air show over the course of 3 days, plus our prep day on Thursday, and then Virginia Tech last Thursday, straight to Mississippi State, and then I've got a couple of days at home now before I have to roll out again. But yeah,
Nice.
I mean, it's my own doing, my availability and my willingness to want to be a team member and a team player holds into that. I mean, I know the wife wants me to take a little bit more time off than I do, but we got a cruise coming up here in March, so I think
Yeah.
she'll be happy with me going the rest of this year. And it's not going to be every week the rest of the year. So, and there's other
Heck
people
yeah.
that can do what I do.
Heck yeah, man. No, you gotta take that family time, man. That's always important, is taking that family time.
Dude,
Uh,
the time for you. I mean, yeah, time for the family, but you have to take time for you as the veteran, as the first responder. I mean, we have experienced some things that the normal person doesn't experience, throughout their life.
yeah,
And, especially if you're a combat wounded veteran or a veteran that saw combat or was deployed to a combat area. I mean, there's things that happen in our lives that won't happen or don't happen back here in the States. And,
Yeah.
those first responders see traumatic events almost daily, whether it's the overdosing that's happening or the accidents. And you got to take time for you, and you got to take time for your mental health. And then, take time for your family, because family time can sometimes be a burden as well.
Oh yeah.
Depending on what it is. So get yourself right, and then get right with your family.
No, I love that, because unfortunately, a lot of us veterans, we focus so much on taking care of other people that we forget about taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And you can't help somebody else if you're not helping yourself. So
Yeah. Two wrongs don't make a right, and two broke people doesn't make it any better.
yeah,
Because, my traumas may feed on your traumas, and then now we're just in a heap of mess together. We were at the air show last Friday. I think it was the first night show, and there were 2 bomb bursts that went on during the show. And the first one goes off, and it kind of shook the building. And then I heard, like, that was something that just went flying by us. That's shrapnel flying. Well, the second one was so violent that things came off the wall, and
Oh, shit.
I'm 3/4 of a mile away, and things are coming off the wall, dude. I had a complete mental breakdown. I had to step out and take about a half hour for me, and a couple of my teammates came up. One of them, Air Force veteran, he's like, "Dude, you good?" I'm like, "I will be, but man, what the
Yeah.
hell, just that." And then that next night, they're like, "Hey, just get in the car and go. We'll be fine." I'm like, "No, I'm facing that friggin' demon tonight." It wasn't even an eighth of what it was the night before. So I'm guessing there was either something went wrong, or somebody got their butt chewed for
Yeah.
that violent of a blast, because the Thunderbirds are sitting right in front of where this stuff is happening.
Oh
So,
shit.
you want to, go ahead and damage a multi-million-dollar aircraft or 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure they were asked to tone down the blast, but
Mm,
Is what it is. I mean, it's, I'm good with myself now. I'm good with I sit there and watch the entire show and had a really good time. And just sometimes the demons creep up on you, and it's different. Every
yeah,
time it's not always that. Sometimes it's the sight, sometimes it's a smell, sometimes it's just that time of year.
yeah, yeah. Well, I definitely, I was driving in Louisville the other day over at Grade Lane and Outer Loop, and I was heading down towards Dixie Highway area. Well, the landfill's there. And we've talked about, smell transporting you back. Well, it was a hot day. I had the windows cracked in the truck, and all of a sudden that smell rushed in.
That natural gas
Yeah,
smell. Yeah,
yeah, and it transported me right back to Haiti, and I was like, "Fuck!" And
yeah,
I got far enough away where the smell was gone, and I pulled over and I called my boss, and I was like, "Hey, man, I pulled over before I got to my job, and I'm telling you why." Um, because of my demons, and of course they know I do have FMLA if I need to take it for
yeah,
certain situations like that, but I try not to utilize it if I don't have to because I don't want to abuse the system. Granted, I got unlimited days that I could use for the FMLA, but if I don't have to use it, I'm not going to. And I called him and said, "Look, I just need to pull over, sit for about 20, 30 minutes to get my wits back.
yeah,
Uh, for one, I have I got a truck with a trailer, heavy machinery. I can't go to a job site, possibly deal with a customer because sometimes I see customers, sometimes I don't, and pull the machine off and just be in a whole different world.
yeah,
So I called him and he understood. He's like, "All right, man, take whatever time you need. Thanks for telling me." So but you definitely have to take care of yourself. And there for the longest time, I didn't do that when I was helping veterans, like doing the veteran charity work, working with different VSOs and stuff. I was running myself ragged, and my wife literally had to come to me and say, "Hey, you're doing too much,
yeah, yeah,
and it's putting a strain on you, and it's putting a strain on your family." Uh, and that woke me up, and I was like, "All right, I understand." So I had to dial it back, and then I had to do refocus on myself a little bit. But it had to it had to somebody had to tell me, "Hey, this is what's going on," because I thought I was fine, but obviously I wasn't. So
yeah, yeah. Compassion fatigue, when it hits, man, it hits.
yeah,
And so for me, fishing does it for me because I'm focused on catching the big one, or at least a one, right? And everything that's going on here at home, everything that's going on at work, which we don't have a lot of drama at work, which is really nice. Everything I have going on in my personal life outside of home and the nonprofit stuff, being on the lake with a line in the water, it just everything just calms for that period of time.
definitely.
And dude, I tell you, and when you do catch a big one, the adrenaline, the excitement, the I got to land it, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
and
yeah.
then and yeah, and the guys I fish with, they all know that's my reset. They all know that that's my time for just to cut up and have fun and have little to no stress.
Yeah. So mine is hunting. I love going deer hunting, and I love just going out and sitting in the woods and just get out there before daylight, before dusk. You get up either in the blind, the tree stand, or prop up next to a tree, and just listen to the creek rustling, and then as nature wakes up, the birds start chirping, the squirrels start rustling around. That's my reset. I'm kinda
Yeah,
like you when you're fishing, but that's my reset, sitting in the woods. And I try to at least go deer hunting at least, once or twice during deer season, just so I can get that reset. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go rifle season this year. I was planning on going up to see Rocco up at Camp Hero, just to get my outdoor therapy.
yeah,
But luckily, if I do need the hard reset, I can call my sister or my cousin, say, "Hey, I'm coming down to your property. I'm going to be walking in the woods for a little bit." and get that reset. And they're usually pretty good about letting me going down there and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's all fun and good until the chipmunks start laughing at you, and you're like, all right, these little bastards know there's nothing walking by me today. I'm out
yeah,
here. You know?
yeah, definitely. Well, Mr. Sam Deeds, I'm glad I got to see you before you head back out on the road.
Yep.
So I can't wait for you to become a full-time host with me.
I'm sure my wife would like it too, because it's only 2 days a week, right? So
Right.
it's not like I'm gone and I'm home. So when I'm done,
Technically it's 3 days a week, but the Wednesdays are just meet and greets.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So and you would be home all the time, get to sleep in your own bed. The wife would probably come shake my hand if that happened.
What would happen is it's going to happen like I did when I retired. You need to find something that's going to get you out of the house. You're driving me insane.
Okay.
So now it's at the point where you need to find something where you're home a little bit more, but that will change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, here's what we'll do. You'll start hosting at home, and then she's like, "All right, Sam, you need to get out of the house." So you're like,
go
"All
on the
right,
road.
I'm going to drive 2 hours to Willis's house, do a podcast, drive back."
Yeah.
Hey, it works. At least
Yeah.
you'll still be home.
Well, I mean, it took her 10 years for her to say, all right, you need to slow down a little bit. So,
there you go.
It wasn't that long after I retired. She says, you got to go.
There you go. There you go. Well, it's about that time, Sam. Thank you again for jumping on, brother.
Yeah, man,
As
thanks for having
always,
me.
it's a pleasure to have you on here. We need to hang out more once you're done for the season. We need to get together, go grab a steak and drink a pop somewhere, and just hang out.
That'll be sometime in January.
There you go. We'll do it so that I'll be recovered by then. So that works. We could do it. So, but like we always say here on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.